Hello guys, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me see your hands in the live chat. Let me see your hands in the chat section. If you can hear me, let me see you in the chat. Drop an emoji, drop an emoji. Just drop an emoji, let me see you. Welcome, welcome Maki, welcome, welcome Maki, welcome. I'm very glad you joined very early. So we are continuing from where we left off. That's the role of graphic design in various industries. So we were discussing about this before the network gave us an issue. So let's continue. So we talked about the first one. We said the graphic design will be your role is also vital in marketing and advertising, and it's very obvious. We all know that graphic design plays a pivotal role in creating eye-catching adverts, banners, and social media visuals for marketers and then advertising agencies, right? We all bear witness to that. And then the second part is, web design and user experience design. In this industry, graphic design is essential in crafting user experience friendly and visually appealing websites and apps. So before any website will be developed or any mobile app will be developed, a graphic designer will be required to create a user interface for it. So I think I have an example here. If let me see if I can show you here. So right now I'm using the Figma to do my presentation. Yehuda. Yehuda. Let me use the presentation here. So I don't know if you can see my screen. So I created one for a friend. He reached out to me and he said he wants me to help him with something like this because he wants to create a mobile app for a restaurant in his area. They sell mostly is wachi and then jollof, but I had to create a prototype. So this is how the prototype looks like. Okay, this is how you get to design each interface for the developer so that he can design program whatever he wants to do or code whatever he wants to do, right? So this was how it looked. It will look on the phone, right? So it continues. This is how the prototype looks when the person enters the phone, the email, the name, click on remember me and then register, and the person can complete the profile by adding the date of birth, the gender, the location, and click next. And then we have the mobile interface, right? And this is how it's going to behave. So I have to create this so that he will be able to develop whatever he wants to do. Okay, so when you click on this, he gets this. When you go back, you're able to move back, right? This is what I mean, that in your graphic design skill is going to be needed in every aspect. Okay? So it is very essential that you take it very serious from here. So now, in the next part, we also talk about the entertainment industry. And the entertainment industry. Welcome, Amwakotre. Welcome. So in the entertainment industry, graphic design is used for movie posters. So when you're walking on the street of Accra, maybe Silverbird, there will be a show at Silverbird or something like that. You see that there are movie posters that they've been putting out there on the street of Accra, the banners. Okay, so it was a graphic designer who did that. Bear in mind, it was a graphic designer. So your graphic design is used for movie posters, album covers, and promotional materials. Okay, and then we come to the publishing and print media. So every printing agency has a graphic designer. So your graphic design is also crucial in book covers, magazine layouts, and newspaper designs. Okay. Then we get to the architecture and interior design. So your graphic design extends to signage, wayfinding, and environmental graphics in architectural and interior design. Okay, so your graphic design skills will be required in interior design, and there are softwares um, that are used for each of that are used for anything that you want to do. There are specific softwares, so you have to do your research, know what you want to do, and then you need to know what you want to do, and do your research, find the particular software that you are supposed to use for that particular thing that you want to do. Okay, so and then you get to master it. All right, you get to master it. So at the end of this course, those who will be at the end of today's video, those who are going to be present at the end, I'm going to show you how I was able to master my graphic design skills. All right, so I would like to stay tuned. All right, so the sixth part is fashion apparel. So fashion designers use graphic design for clothing prints, patterns, and branding. Okay, so if you want to create, start a clothing brand, right, you need the graphic design skills. Otherwise, you would have to employ a graphic designer if you want to start a clothing brand. That is how it works. So your graphic design skills will be used in that aspect. So don't think that the graphic design is something that it's not broad. It's very broad. Okay, even to the fact that healthcare and medical communication centers. Okay, so if you go to the hospitals, you see Richard Ajemai. This is a continuation, right? This is a continuation. Even the title says part 2. All right. So everyone, I would like you to like this this particular live video and then subscribe. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so in the healthcare and medical communication center, so when we go to the hospital, there are some illustrations, there are some posters that you see around that tells you that you need to put your masks on, you need to put your maybe gloves on, or you need to wash your hand. Those particular illustrations that you've been seeing around at the hospital, the infographics and the rest, they were all designed by a graphic designer. So a graphic design helps in creating medical illustrations, patient education materials, and health related infographics. So all those who are just joining, we are talking about the role of graphic design in various industries. So we are at number 7. If you are now joined, we are number 7. So we talked about the marketing and advertising agency, the web and user experience, where I get to show you how I use Figma to create this design. All right, this is how it looked, and then this is how the prototype looks. Okay, and then the entertainment industry, your skill will be required to create movie posters, album covers, and promotional materials. And with print publishing and print medias too, they will need your skill to create their book covers, magazine layouts, and then the newspaper designs. And we also have the architecture interior designers. So over here too, you will need your graphic design skills, and then you look for the software that is designated to be used for that particular thing that you want to do, and you master it. And the 6th is fashion and apparel. So those who are looking to start a clothing brand, you can use this particular skill to start your clothing brand. You can do your design, take the design, go to the print media, and tell them that I want to do a DTF printing. They will do the printing for you. Okay, then you come out and sell your clothes, and then you start making some cash out of it. So the 7th one is the healthcare and medical communication. That's the hospitals. All right, so in the hospitals, you realize that when you enter a hospital, we have medical illustrations that tell you that, hey, put your nose mask on, or wash your hands with what soap under running water, and all those things. They were all created by graphic designers. So your graphic design skill too will be needed in the hospital or in the healthcare center. And then we have education and e-learning. So graphic design plays a role in designing educational materials, textbooks and e-learning modules. So you can speak with your lecturers and tell them, I'm a graphic designer. I can help recreate all your slides for you. Okay, I can help recreate all your slides for you and at this okay. I think I went off, but I'm back again. Okay, so if there's anything that you didn't hear, um, you let me know. So I was talking about the education and e-learning. So with the education and e-learning, you can recreate slides for lecturers, because when you recreate these for them, they are going to use it for a very long time. It can be like 4 to 8 years. It's once. So if you're able to convince them, they will understand, and then you earn something small from your lecturers too. And then you can also help create. You can create books, okay, textbooks, put it on Amazon. Amazon will print it for you and sell it. Then we get to the non-profits and social causes. So you get to see these orphanage homes, NGOs going about sharing brochures, seeking for donations. Those designs were by, graphic designers. Okay, so your graphic design also extends to that portion. So it's either they hire a graphic designer or they look for a freelancer. Okay, so that's how it works. And then in the 10th one, we have the food and beverage industry. You need to learn how your role is also needed in packaging design, menu layout, and food product branding. They all rely heavily on the graphic design skills. Okay, before someone, any any top-notch restaurant you go has a menu, and those menus were created by designers. If you enter any KFC branch around, you realize that they have screens which are displaying their food, their prices, and all those things. They were all created by graphic designers. Okay, now we also have real estate and property marketing. All right, so your graphic design is used in property brochures, signage, and virtual tours. So we have real estate agents who are around. You can talk to them, help, discuss with them. If you help them get a buyer, you are going to get this, maybe this percentage of commission. Because as a graphic designer, you can also work as a real estate agent. All you have to do is go to the field, take pictures. You speak with the developer first, take pictures. You come and look for a real estate platform like Mikasa or Ghana, what, I've forgotten. You register and then put your product out there. So even if you are getting 1% on 1 million Ghana cedis, it's a whole lot of money for you. So your real estate side to your graphic design can be used there. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the rule here. I don't know if you have any question. Please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, before we continue. So we continue with some of the design softwares that you are supposed to know. Okay, and we start with the Adobe Creative Cloud, which most of us know. We have the Adobe Creative Cloud, which comes with Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Adobe SD, Premiere, and a whole lot. Okay, let me try to explain what each of them does. So with the Photoshop, that is what we use for image editing and manipulation. That is what we use for image editing and manipulation. Okay, so most of the image that your photographer takes, he edits them in Photoshop. Okay, and most of the flyers that you see out there were designed in Photoshop. Photoshop does a whole lot. Okay, and Illustrator is for vector graphics and illustrations. So when we talk about this, we are talking about your icons, your logo, your cartoons, and all those things. They were all done in Illustrator. We also have InDesign, which is used for page layout and desktop publishing. All right, like your magazine, your books, and all those things. Okay, they were all done. We use InDesign for all those ones. And we have Adobe XD, which is also used for the UI UX designing, like the one I showed you earlier. All right, and we have Premiere Pro, which is for video editing. With the Adobe Premiere Pro, okay, it's used for video editing. We also have After Effects, which is also for motion graphics and animation. but some people try to use the After Effects for video editing, which is not recommendable. Use Premiere Pro for your videos and After Effects for your animation. Okay, so when you use After Effects for your animation, you can import them in your Premiere Pro to edit your videos. That is how the Creative Cloud works. That is what makes the Creative Cloud, um, interesting, because it allows seamless integration between different these particular softwares. Okay, so I can do something in Illustrator, go to Photoshop and import it. That is what makes Adobe Creative Cloud very special here. We also have Sketch. Sketch is for Mac OS people. It's a Mac OS exclusive design tool, primarily used for UI and UX design. But if you are not using Mac, don't worry. There's one guy here who most of us use, and that is Figma. Figma is what I'm even using right now. Figma, Figma. Figma is a cloud-based design tool accessible from any platform with an internet connection. So with Figma, when I finish with the design, whether I save it or not, it's still on Figma. When I am unable to, maybe it's time for live session and I'm not home, I can go to my friend's place, log into my Figma account, and then I'll get access to all my design and all my presentations, and I can come live. That is the essence. That is one of the importance of Figma. But one of the things that makes Figma make us enjoy Figma is how it allows us to collaborate on a particular design. Okay, it allows us to collaborate on a particular design. So long as you have internet connection, you can use your Figma, right? So it's popular for collaborative design work, allowing multiple users to work on the same project simultaneously. Okay, so Figma is widely used for web and app design, prototyping and user testing. We also have CorelDRAW and Canva. Most people use Canva, and most people to use CorelDRAW, but I'm not a fan of any of them. Because Canva in a way limits your creativity, and CorelDRAW also does a lot, but it combines both vector and raster graphics, which you can get confused. You can get confused unless you take your time to master it first. Now we come to the basic design terminologies and vocabularies. So don't worry, this presentation I'm sharing here will be made accessible to you all. It will be made accessible to you all. So I'll try and convert it to PDF and get it to you all. Okay, so let's continue with this. So there are some terminologies that you need to get used to. Okay, so we talk about hierarchy. Hierarchy is something, I think you might have an idea. Hierarchy is like ranking. Okay, like ranking. So the organization of content to convey the relative importance of different elements. Okay, so you try to make something bigger than another thing so that we get to understand that the big one is the important one. That is hierarchy. And then we have typography. Now when you hear typography anywhere, they are talking about the act of text, using your text to create an image. Okay, using your text to create some art. That is typography. So type means text. Okay, so the art and technique of arranging your text to make it visually appealing and readable. That is typography. Then we have grade. So a grade is a framework of intersecting vertical and horizontal lines that help align and organize elements in a design. So grades help, it provides structure and consistency. It helps you with your alignment. You remember when we talked about alignment in our design principles? Alignment, remember? Yeah, your grade helps you understand how to align your object. Okay, and we also have white space, which some people also call it negative space. So it is the empty space or unmarked space in a design. It's the space in your design where there's nothing there, there's no element there. Okay, and it is very important that you leave a lot of white space in your design. Okay, is very, very crucial that you leave a lot of white space in your design so that your design can get a breathing space. All right, and then the viewer too doesn't get distracted. It helps direct the viewer's attention. We also have scale and proportion. Scale refers to the size of the element, and proportion involves maintaining pleasing ratios between elements. So when we talk about scale, we are talking about the size, make it bigger or smaller. But when talking about proportion, we are now we're talking in terms of comparison. When you say proportion, we are talking in terms of comparison. So maybe I want you to see this as much important than this. I can make this one bigger than this. That is proportion. Okay. In that case, you are comparing their skill. All right. Now we talk about composition, which is the arrangement of visual elements within a design. The arrangement of visual element within a design. That is what we mean by composition, including the placement, the balance, and overall structure of how your designs are placed in there, how your elements are placed in the design. Okay, that is composition. Composition is the arrangement of your design element. Then we have vector and raster graphics. Okay, so vector graphics, take note here. Vector graphics, they are the graphics created using mathematical formulas which can be scaled infinitely without losing their quality. Okay, that is why it's much advisable to create your design logos in vector graphics. Okay, get your logos in vector graphics. So some of the format is .svg or .ai. Okay, so you need to get your logos in .svg and also .ai or .pdf. Get them in this, all right, because it's very essential that you get them. With SVG, SVG means scalable vector graphics. No matter how big I stretch it and no matter how small I reduce it, the quality is maintained. So that format, the name SVG, scalable vector graphics. But with raster graphics, if you use Photoshop, CorelDRAW, and then you don't save it, or maybe you save it as JPEG, you save it as PNG, or you save it as GIF, the logo is going to reduce in quality. All right, the logo is going to reduce in quality. But if you save an image as a raster graphics, the quality is going to be higher. So the raster graphics has a higher quality when it comes to images than the vector graphics, and then the vector graphics has a higher quality when it comes to logo design and illustrations. When I mean illustration, I'm talking about the cartoons you have been seeing, the cartoon illustrations you have been seeing. With vector graphics, no matter how you stretch it, it doesn't blur out. The quality is maintained. But with the raster graphics, the moment I start stretching it out, it starts reducing in quality. It becomes blur. That's the raster graphic. Okay, now we talk about mockup. Anytime you create a design, a label design, you need to put it on. Maybe I'm creating a label design for a shitter, someone who sells shitter. I need to get a container. When I finish with the designing of the label, I put the design on the container and then send it to the business owner or the stakeholder here to confirm that is it okay, is it nice, is this what you are looking for, before we head on to printing. We do this before printing. Don't go and print and come and show it to them, otherwise you are going to waste money. So there are mockups online. You can go to freepik.com, you can go to mockup, you just type mockup on Google and you get all the sites. All right, now we talk about DPI. DPI in a way is like resolution, right? It's a measurement of the resolution of printed or digital images, indicating the number of dots per inch. When you say dot, we are talking about a pixel. Pixel is like a square of one color. When you say pixel, we mean a square of one color. So when you see something, they said maybe it is 2 megapixels. You get me? So it is made up of 2 times mega number of squares with one color. You get me? So it is these squares that come together to form one image. It is these squares that come together to form one image. All right. So the moment you start zooming into an image, you get to a point where you get to see boxes. All right. You get to see boxes with one color. Now we also have bleed. Bleed is one of the things that you need to take into account. You'll be using a lot if you venture into book covers, book designing, magazine, and all those things. You need to take notes of bleed, learn much about bleed if you are going to that direction. Bleed is bleed you need to take notes of it, learn much about it if you are going to the direction of book covers, magazine, and the rest. All right. So they are the extra space beyond the edge of a printed page or design element, ensuring that color extends to the edge after trimming. Okay, so maybe I design a magazine or a business card. I need to leave a bleed around the design so that when they are cutting it, the machine will cut those edges out. Okay, it will cut the edges out so that I know I get my colors get to extend to the edge of the trimming. Okay, that is bleed. You do much research about it if you are going much into magazine and book covers and books. Okay, now let's talk about serif and sans serif. When we talk about serif, we are talking about the font. We are talking about those fonts that has those edges on them. Let me see. Let me go back to this and show you an example. So, an example of a font with this. Let me scale so you see this. Now, the best example that we all know is Times New Roman. This is a serif font because of this guy. It's because of this guy. Okay, can you see the edge here? Can you see the edge here, please? So with the edge here, you see that there is some extension of the T down here. That is what we mean by a serif. So any font with these extrusions or with these edges means that font is called a serif. Okay, so example is the Times New Roman. So we also have sans serif. With the sans serif, the sans there means without. Sans means without. An example or the best example for this is, let me show you here. Best example for this is a font called Inter, I-N-T-E-R. Okay, so Inter here is the best example for this. You realize that this one doesn't have that extrusion. Okay, doesn't have that edge. It doesn't have that edge. So this is a sans serif, which means without a serif, without those extrusions. So we get to CMYK and RGB. The CMYK is a mode that we use when we are going to print. So when you're going to print your design, you convert it to a CMYK. Otherwise, you can leave it as RGB, take it to the printing press, and then do convert it themselves and then print it. Okay, but if you are sharing it on social media, you do not convert it to CMYK. You maintain RGB because CMYK is not nice on phone or any digital device. CMYK is not nice on any digital device unless printed. So you maintain it in RGB when you are going to use it for digital purposes. And we also have something called leading. Leading here is the vertical spacing between lines of text in typography. Okay, it affects the readability and aesthetics. If it comes too much, it takes a longer time for the reader to finish reading, and if it comes too less, it makes the reader very confused of what you are trying to say. We also have kerning, which is the adjustment of space between individual letters or characters in a word to improve visual harmony and readability. So over here, some people call this word K-E-M-I-N-G, kerning, and then some people call it kerning. The reason why they do it that way is because when you reduce the spacing between these letters, the R and the N becomes an okay, the R and the N becomes an so that's what they are trying to tell you, the effect. If you reduce it too much, reduce the space between R and N, you try to get a different word. So you make sure that your kerning is also on point. And we come to the last part of this video, which we talk about mood board. The mood board. If you're a business owner, if you're a graphic designer, a mood board is something that you need to be doing always and every day. Okay, so if you are trying to create a brand design for someone, okay, you need to create a mood board. It's a collection of images, the colors, the textures you want to convey in a particular brand. All right, so let me show you an example. So this something like this. Okay, maybe you want to create this for a fashion brand. If you want to create a fashion brand, you bring out, okay, I take Snoop Dogg's this image, bring this image, bring that, and then we are able to get these colors here that we can use for our clothing brand. This is a luxurious clothing brand that the person wants to create. Okay, that is how we get that is how we create a mood board. Okay, so from these images, bringing out these images, you get your colors, and bringing out these images, you get the style of images that you need to be putting out there if you are starting your brand. Okay, you look at them and you say, okay, this is how they dress and this is how they take the photos. So you get inspiration from this to do your design. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. If you have any question, please ask. So someone was asking, please, what about Pixel Lab? What about Pixel Lab? Okay, so Pixel Lab is for mobile phones. Okay, those who want to design with mobile phones. So if you have no laptop or desktop at the moment, you want to design with your mobile phone, that is when you get to use Pixel Lab. With that, there are designers who are doing very good designs with that. All right, there are a lot of designers that are doing mad designs with Pixel Lab. But if you are beginning and you don't have a desktop and laptop, you can continue with it. But if you have desktop, you have laptop, I would not advise you to leave desktop and then your laptop and move to your phone to design. No. Pixel Lab is also, I used Pixel Lab when I was starting. When I was starting about 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, I used Pixel Lab and I mastered it. Okay, I have a friend on YouTube who also does videos on Pixel Lab. All right, he does mad designs with Pixel Lab. I don't know whether I can share his channel here, but if you ask me in the group, if you are in the paid group, you can ask me and then I will share with you the channel. All right. Someone says, looks that we are having what challenge with your network. Yeah, please, what about Pixel Lab? Please, you've been off from where you were talking about the role of graphic designers, getting to somewhere around number 8. Really? But I went over it again. Okay, um with with the softwares, I cannot teach you here because of some legal reasons. I cannot teach you here, so I'm going to show you how to do it on I'm going to show you how to I'll drop a video on how to do it in the group, okay? Because YouTube won't allow us to do that, so I'll drop in this in the group. We once did it and the video got banned, so my channel was on this thing, so I don't want us to have any issue, so I'll drop it. So if you have not joined the group, please, you pay and then you join. And after today too, is no longer 70 cities, it's 100 cities. Okay, it's no longer 70 cities, it's 100 cities. Please, more questions, more questions. I'm waiting for more questions. And those that have not liked the video and those who have not subscribed, please do so. We are 11, but only 4 people have subscribed. Please hurry up. So with the ebook, if you have joined the group, I'm going to share it with you, and the PDF too is going to be shared in the group. So please, those in the group, do not worry. It will be dropped either today, tomorrow, or Monday. From now to Monday, we are going to release it. Okay, everything will be released in the group. Please drop more questions. I'm waiting for more questions before we end up with today's lesson. All right, since there are no questions coming in, please do subscribe and like the video. I've been saying this over and over again. Only 4 people have subscribed, but you are more than 10 here. Please do subscribe to this channel. Okay, so without much further ado, we are going to end today's lesson here. Can you talk a bit about the use of colors in graphic design? So we'll get to that point too. So today we are not talking about that today. We'll be talking about color theory and typography another day, which is after this lesson. Okay, we'll talk about color theory and typography. So with the color theory, we are going to learn about the best color combinations. How do you pair your colors? Okay, the best practices with colors. And then we also, with the typography, that's your font, your type, your text. Okay, we talk about how to pair them, how to use them. Okay, in your design. So I will urge you all to subscribe and also register, so that we can all continue to learn together. So that brings us to the end of today's lesson. I hope I've answered everyone's question here. Okay, very good. All right, bye bye guys.